Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Thursday.
Hello there.
I'm Alan, and he's Malcolm.
How you doing?
We've got a new set this season.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Lovely, isn't it?
Well,
Radios, candles, and all sorts of things.
we've been moved upstairs because we've had to make a playroom for Peter downstairs so that
Yes.
he can keep all the tech stuff going for us.
Loads of toys that man has.
Oh, more tech than we know what to do with.
Cables coming out of his ears. I don't know what's going on at all.
He glows in the dark. He's got that much
He is
electromagnetic.
radioactive, I do believe that.
He is radioactive.
I think
I
so.
know. Do you not think that the setup is kind of a bit Podge and Rog like for those people online who know who Podge and Rog are?
This ever so slightly, isn't
We're
it?
going to be a bit more well behaved tonight.
Are we? You speak for yourself.
Oh dear. Listen, folks, it's great to see so many of you with us. Familiar people. There's Elaine Barker. Both Elaine Barkers, actually.
Both Elaine.
Just to confuse the
Lainey,
situation.
get well soon, darling. I know you've been sick for a day or two, so I hope you're getting stronger every day, and it's good to have you with us.
Absolutely. Mary Collins back from Florence Court.
Mary, hello.
And Violet from...
Good old Violet. How are you, darling?
There you go. And there's Catherine.
Lovely. Hello, Catherine.
And David.
David.
This is like giving out Santa presents.
Isn't it great?
It is. And Bill, Bill, our Spanish friend. He's with us.
Yes, Bill, yes.
Absolutely. And Ruth, our Canadian friend.
Hello, Ruth.
So if we haven't, that's only the bit we've seen in the comments, and we'd really love you to interact with us on either the Drumcliffe page or the Recenter page. Sally is with us tonight. Sally's a new member of the team.
Yes. Great to have Sally with us, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Very talented young lady.
Absolutely. Very talented. Very talented. So she is going to help us with some of the comments as well.
She is.
Because I'm a bit dyslexic.
And I can't work computers.
No, he had a bad experience once and never went back.
Technophobe, is that the term?
I think it is. I think it is. Anyway, okay, let me see. So we're doing well. What are we talking about tonight? Can you remember?
Anticipation, wasn't that the thing? I think
Amy Hayes reckons that this is like the modern Father Ted set.
Oh, dear, love you, Amy.
Well, speaking of fathers, somebody got ordained in the summer. He did. He's now the Reverend Malcolm. He did. He's got a whole collection of shirts, but he hasn't got his collar on tonight.
I have some lovely shirts. I do indeed.
Quite a collection.
I do.
He looks very well in them. Absolutely super. So yes, anticipation. That's it.
That's the one.
What are we talking about? Anticipation. Tell me about anticipation. I'm anticipating your anticipation.
I'm anticipating you having something to say about anticipation.
Well, it's going to be a long night otherwise.
Yes, but I looked up anticipation, and it's all to do with expecting something and waiting for something to happen. And I think this year, more than any other year, where everybody's anticipating maybe a bit more levity and a bit more jollity around Christmas, because this year's been
Miserable.
That's the very word
I'm
fishing
so sick
for.
of it. 2020 cannot cope anymore.
I know,
Totally done
I
with
think
it.
people are anticipating New Year's Eve and New Year's Day to get this one over. I think you might be right there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think people are just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting.
It's been tough. It's been tough. Tough for a lot of people.
And waiting for some of those government boyos to come and tell us what's happening with Christmas.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
I think there's a lot of people waiting out there to go and buy pyjamas. Imagine a late toy show special and not a pyjama in the shop for the children.
I've been toying with the idea of a onesie.
Well, Jennifer Young from Cookstown might buy you one for Christmas.
That's my sister.
I
Hello,
thought she
Jennifer.
might.
How are you, darling? Yes. I'll put that on my Santa list, will I?
Yeah, well, there's a few other. There's Pearl and there's Alison and a whole load more. Good to see
sure,
you
it's
all.
great.
Yeah,
Good to
absolutely.
see you
You're so
all.
welcome to be with us tonight.
It's great to see Jennifer. Jennifer, are you back home, darling? She was in the hospital there for a day or two, so it's great to have you with us.
I have an image of you in a onesie that I just cannot shake.
I know. With a dog collar on it.
Oh, no. Amy, it's Father Ted. It's Father Ted, Amy. Please rescue me.
Flashbacks. Say nothing.
Trauma. Absolute trauma.
Behave yourself.
Do you have, Amy's wondering, do you have some black priest socks? I see you have black socks on tonight.
There, are you getting the socks there? Right? Yeah, black. They're not very, very dark blue. They're black.
They're black. Okay, well there you go. That's her happy anyway. Oh dear, bless us. Anyway, I'm going to have to stop thinking about these. I'm going to run out of things. Oh, just desperate. So tell me this, anticipation.
Yes, boss.
Yeah.
Anticipation.
Is it always a good thing?
It depends. I think it depends what you're anticipating, and what actually arrives, if it's not what you've been anticipating, not what you've been waiting for, it can be a bit of a letdown, a bit of a disappointment. It can maybe lead to you feeling a bit hurt and a bit hard done by, maybe, if you don't get what you're anticipating. It's like talking about Christmas. You wrote Santa a letter and you asked for a onesie or whatever with a dog collar, and it doesn't arrive, and you've been anticipating it. You feel a bit disappointed if you don't get what you're anticipating.
You just get socks and underwear again. No onesie.
Black ones, not very, very dark blue.
Okay. This season, we're thinking of a lot of Asian words.
Yes, they're all Asian words. There's expectation and preparation and all sorts of
Constipation.
Asian. No, hopefully not. Celebration. There's another Asian somewhere.
Incarnation.
That was the
one. I
one.
don't really understand what that means, but anyway.
Well, you know what that means? America. You know the way everything's drive-through? They're an incarnation.
We are becoming that fast. Have you seen the queue in the retail park for McDonald's
I
this
know.
weekend? It is ridiculous.
Yes, we're becoming an incarnation as well.
A McFlurry in months.
Funny enough.
No, absolutely. Mary Colin, we are not wearing onesies next week, and that is a promise.
No, we would. There must be some censor somewhere that wouldn't allow that. No, we couldn't. No. You wouldn't want that on your conscience.
No, you certainly wouldn't.
No.
Certainly wouldn't.
You would not.
Anyway, yes, well, do you know what? People are going mad. And Violet McAvenna is actually, she has put her head in a bucket of water to get that image of you in a onesie out of it.
Violet, it might take more than that, darling.
I think I'm going to be in counselling for a long time.
Yes. PTSD or something like that.
Absolutely. I don't have PTSD. Much.
Not much.
Anyway, sorry. Focus.
Yes, sorry. We're rambling on there.
This season we're doing Asians, not constipation, but lots of other Asians. Incarnations, celebrations.
Preparation, expectation, and it's anticipation this evening.
Yes, because between now and hopefully the end of this series, we're anticipating that we might get to Christmas.
Yes, you never know, we might make it. We might just make it. So I was going to talk maybe later on about people that anticipated something and it wasn't exactly what they were expecting, and they were quite disappointed and quite actually angry about it.
Absolutely.
They didn't get what they anticipated.
No, they didn't. They didn't. Yes, celebrations. I'd like a box of celebrations.
A tub of those would be nice.
Any willing sponsors, we'll happily devour them for you.
And give you a plug. We will, not a problem. We're shameless. We are.
Shameless. Shameless for the plugs.
Yes.
Yes, we've got buns tonight.
Speaking of plugs, yes.
For the ad. You know, like a Gogglebox. Do you watch Gogglebox? Channel 4.
I have been known to look at Gogglebox, yes.
So there's buns for that. Buns for the commercial break. Commercial break.
Now a word from our sponsors, all that sort of thing.
In a moment, yes, absolutely.
Lovely.
This week's are being kindly sponsored by Sally, who kindly purchased them from Kate's Kitchen in Sligo. So we're going to give them an outrun. We've got some Bakewell tart and Rice Krispie kind of chocolatey bunny thing.
I'm your man.
Absolutely. Do you know what also I'm anticipating? The tea house will be open again soon.
There is much anticipation about the tea house opening again. I cannot wait.
I cannot wait.
I'm having trouble containing myself.
But it feels like, you know how like anticipation can sometimes be a good thing and sometimes a bad thing? It does kind of feel like we're anticipating it because it's the end of a misery.
Yes.
For us, we spend so much time talking to people and chatting to people there, and it's like the whole heart of this particular community is missing.
I know that this, especially in around the churchyard here, the whole atmosphere has just got so flat and so dull. And when the tea house opens again, it'll make such a difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I cannot wait. It's going to be wonderful.
So now that we've done all our commercial plugs for one night.
I see my old pals in the tea house because we had the team in there. I'm missing all those girls.
Yes.
And Mark, of course, as well. I'm missing them all.
I know.
So it'll be good to see them all again.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Sooner the better. Sooner the better.
Can't come quick enough.
You are right. You are right.
Malteser squares.
Malteser squares. Yeah.
Well, I better go easy. I'll not fit into my onesie.
No. And actually, I'd just like to say that, again, I am sideways on, and my belly is hanging out in the middle of this set. And
You have it well covered by your laptop lid there.
He looks skinny as sitting on the far side of the fireplace again.
There you see. Yes, that's me all covered
And
up.
I'm anticipating many comments about how I'm going to eat less dinner this week when I go home.
I would say there'll be a few.
I think so.
I'd say there'll be
Anyway,
a few.
let's anticipate the commercial break, and we're going to have some buns. And,
We are.
I think if Peter or Roisin or whoever is in the gallery downstairs as opposed to upstairs, they have got. Can you run VT? Well, that was lovely.
Wasn't it?
I have no idea. It was great.
It was wonderful.
Wonderful. Not as wonderful as the buns. Now, they were, yes, well, obscene Nigella sounds over there, really.
Yeah, I'll never fit into my onesie now.
No, it's not going to, it's going to need to be a 2-ton bag with a drawstring at the top.
That's a thought. It would keep out the drafts.
It would keep out the drafts. Anyway, we're now talking total draft.
We are.
We are. So anticipation. Malcolm, you were thinking about anticipation this week.
I was thinking about anticipation. And I was thinking about, you know, the way I mentioned earlier that people can sometimes anticipate things and it just isn't the way they expected it to be. I know David had said that he's not able to get home for Christmas this year. And
although he is anticipating snow.
In anticipating snow, but see, we all anticipate these things. And
he's in Norway, though. Sorry to put you
well, if he doesn't get snow in Norway, there's something badly wrong.
Global warming's gone mental.
Yes, it's gone mental.
Yeah.
So Christmas is probably not going to be this year the way we anticipated it to be. But I was also thinking earlier today, I just wrote down a couple of wee thoughts that I had here. The Jewish people were anticipating a Messiah. You hear this word Messiah bandied about a bit. Messiah, the Greek for Messiah is Christos. That's where we get Christ from, and it just means the anointed one. It's like this special person.
Anointed.
Anointed, yes. This special person that was going to come. And the people sometimes get the impression of Christmas as sort of just something that just happened. Something just occurred out of the blue, out of nowhere. But actually, the Jewish people had been anticipating this Messiah, this anointed one, for an awful long time.
Longer than we're waiting on Christmas this year.
An awful long time.
Because it's been a long time. I'm thinking about putting up the tree just to cheer myself up.
The first reference I got that I could find in the Bible to the anointed one is actually away in the story of Adam and Eve.
Holy bajoli.
That far
Quote
away.
one of your words.
Bajoli.
Bajoli.
Genesis chapter 3, it talks about God told Satan that somebody would come that would crush your head, and he said to Satan, and you will strike his heel. Isn't that amazing?
I'm going to strike Amy Hayes. Anyway,
What is she at?
She has found us an Olaf and a
Amy,
minion onesie.
Behave.
Behave.
Then you go to Abraham. He lived about 1,700 years before Jesus was born.
So when you were young.
Whenever I was a nipper, yes. And even then, God had said to him that through you all nations will be blessed because you have obeyed me. And actually, if you trace the lineage or the genealogy, I know a lot of people do these trace my ancestor things, and who do you think you are, and you trace the way back.
Yeah.
Well, Jesus can actually trace his family line right back to Abraham, way as far back as that. So then God promised Abraham that one of his descendants would be blessed, and he would rule all the nations, rule the whole world. You know, so you're talking nearly 2,000 years before Jesus was born. Then you go to Moses. He was 1,200 years before Jesus. His life, if you study his life, there's a lot of similarities. We could sit and talk for hours about Moses, the similarities between his life and Jesus' life.
Misery.
It would be misery if you were listening to me.
No, but there's a lot of misery. There
was a lot of misery.
Moses, like Moses had a lot of misery.
But even Moses being put in the basket and having to be hidden from the king who was trying to kill all the babies.
Oh, yeah.
You know the story of Herod trying to kill, right the way through Moses' life. You can see all these similarities.
We'll all be doing it in our not nativities, yes.
Yes. And then this is where the misunderstandings started to come. There was a man called Joshua. He was 1,200 years before Jesus. And he was a great warrior. And after Moses, they went into the promised land and they had to conquer the land, and Joshua was their leader, and he was this great warrior that fought and killed all their enemies, you know, the Philistines and all these other types of people. And then that led on to King David. He was about 1,000 years before Jesus was born. And he was a great warrior. He was famous for being this brilliant warrior. If you want to read about him, you can read about him in 1st and 2nd Samuel in the Bible as well.
Here,
You know, so,
there's a lot of hanging around in this.
you see, that's what I'm saying. The Jewish people have been fed all this for thousands of years about this Messiah, this king that was going to come, this great warrior that was going to come. David, it said David was famous because he had led in a battle and he had killed 18,000 Edomites. So everybody thought, well, if this Messiah is going to come, he's going to be a bit of a David, a bit of a Joshua, a bit of a Moses, whatever that is. You know, so they were expecting this. Their anticipation was, they were anticipating this. And then David wrote about, in the Psalms, he wrote about that it was this chosen one was going to be God's son.
Still more hanging around.
And make you the nations your inheritance, more hanging around, and this new leader would be the Son of God. And he wrote about...
There's a lot of things in that's really hard to understand.
There's a lot of that.
It's like, why can you go to Homebase and buy Christmas lights, but you have to click and collect in Home Store and more? These are the questions that bother me these days. But like, these boys have been hanging around and trying to make sense of this story for years and years and years and years, and it makes no sense.
And they were anticipating that for 2,000 years. And their culture and their whole, the way they were taught, it was this warrior's going to come, this great king's going to come, this anointed one, this big high priest. Who is it talks about the high priest coming? One of the prophets talks about
This Christmas will come.
Yes,
eventually.
Yes, eventually. So there's an awful lot of that going on. So they were anticipating something that they didn't actually get.
It's a bit like us in Christmas.
Exactly. We're anticipating something this year. We don't really know what we're anticipating this year. We don't know how it's going to go.
It's mad.
But you
Mad.
know, so you go through the prophets, you go through Jeremiah, you go through Isaiah, Haggai, Micah, all these boys.
They mustn't have loved their children. They're awful names.
They're awful names.
Awful names.
Get the old boy called
Come in, Haggai, for your tea.
Aye, come in, Haggai. Come in for your dinner.
Oh dear, bless us. I know. Oh dear, yes.
So that's what they were expecting. They were expecting a great warrior. They were expecting somebody to come. By the time Jesus was born, the Romans had taken over Israel and they were ruling the whole place. And they thought, right, if this boy's the Messiah, he's going to come on a big horse and a big sword and he's going to chase the Romans away. And isn't it going to be great?
Well, Hannah has some news for us that I have never heard before. So here you go. Brace yourself, Bridget.
I will.
Apparently, in music, anticipation is the introduction in a composition of part of a chord which is about to follow in full. If we think of it like that, the Jewish people were hearing part of the chord and waiting for it to happen in full. We now hear the full chords of God.
They were looking forwards. That's right. They were looking forwards towards this Messiah. And they had sort of formulated in their head what this Messiah was going to be. We have the gift of hindsight. We can look back.
Yeah.
And we can see the bits that all these people wrote over the centuries before Jesus, but then we know the story of Jesus and what happened after he was born. Those people didn't have that.
Well, it's like watching a box set where you've watched the final series and you go back and start watching it from the beginning again, but you can't quite remember how you got from to what happened at the end.
Reading the last bit of a book or something. And then
Shauna does that all the time.
That's shocking.
No, but she reads the end to decide is it worth reading the rest of it. Don't ask me. It makes sense to her.
Oh, you're giving me a headache now.
Yeah, we're giving more than each other headaches. I'd say there's people at home with a severe migraine at this stage. 2 paracetamol won't be enough.
No, I wouldn't even look at it. Wouldn't fizz on it at all.
Yeah, David agrees with us that Moses lives in a lot of misery. I'm with you.
He did
a lot of misery.
Didn't have an easy time, that boy.
No,
he
definitely,
did not.
Definitely.
No. And the people around him didn't help him much either, but that's another story.
Yeah, well,
For
we all know what that
another
feels
day.
like, yes. Anyway, Christmas.
Yes.
Anticipation. What are you looking forward to?
Getting through it.
That's a bit like those Jewish. You sure you're not just secretly Jewish? From about 800 years before Christ.
They're up, maybe. That would be a bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
For Christmas.
Can't wait. I'm like Beth, the daughter. She cannot wait. Cannot wait.
You do get a bit excited
I
about
do.
it, don't you?
I've got a few lights and things up already. I've ordered them from the place that you have to order them because you can't quite, all that stuff. Cannot wait. Time to start brightening up the place. Anticipate a bit of togetherness.
Well, this year that's probably a good idea. Get the bright lights up and get a bit of tinsel going.
Well, last year I don't think the lights got up at all. But this year, going to get the lights
You're
up.
making a point of putting them up.
Absolutely.
Just because of the year we had.
Oh, such a miserable year. I think a lot of people are kind of going to try this year to...
I think people are going to make an effort. Yeah. Even if they are just sitting in the home with whoever happens to live with them and they can't get together the way maybe we would like to, I think a lot of people are going to... It's going to be a different Christmas.
It is. But there's actually
yes.
hope in the midst of it.
It's not... It mightn't be any... It'll be different. That doesn't mean it'll be worse.
No.
There could be something...
And as we kind of journey through the whole Advent thing, you know, who knows what's kind of ahead of us? You know,
Exactly.
I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen. There's people here watching from Norway. I see English people, Scottish people, Northern Irish people, Republic of Ireland people, and what's happening in other countries is different.
And I think one thing this year has taught us is that we don't really know what's coming next.
No. And you see, I think we're going to talk about expectation in a few weeks' time. I think that's the difference, because anticipation, I think, is knowing you want something to happen, but not really being sure what it is. Like what you're saying, the Jewish people, they just didn't really know. They thought it was a warrior, but they didn't really know what they were.
That's what they were hoping it would be because of the Romans and all the.
But I think that's
bother.
expectation, because I think when we kind of have an expectation, it's more concrete. An expectation that you know we will have turkey dinner or whatever it happens.
They were anticipating that this warrior would come and free them, and they would all have a great life, and they'd all be masters over their own destiny again.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They were anticipating all that, and they were disappointed.
Sure, look, they love the misery.
They do, don't we all, sure?
We do. We all love the misery.
Love a bit of misery.
Love a bit of misery. You know that saying that we're becoming well known for, which is, we're thinking about coming into land.
Oh yes, turn on the lantern
Turning
lights.
on the
Yes,
lantern lights. We're not quite there yet, but we're kind of circling.
drop your undercarriage and hit the runway.
undercarriage is
Yes,
down when we'd be heading for the
runway.
airport.
Yes.
So, what final thoughts?
Final thoughts. What I would like to do as a final thought. We've talked about warriors and we've talked about all these different things. But actually, what I love, I was reading through Isaiah. I love a bit of Isaiah. There's lots of misery in there too, but there's a lovely bit of Isaiah.
There's some beautiful.
And I think as we anticipate, you could read Isaiah 53 about the horrible time Jesus had, in Holy Week and as he was crucified. But I think this Christmas, what we need to focus on, what would be really helpful for us. I think I'm going to just read you a wee bit from Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 9, I think, would be nice.
Right, go for it.
Just listen to these words. Isaiah wrote about that, about battles and warriors, but then listen to these words. I think these are the words that we should concentrate on this Christmas. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called, listen to this, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. I think this year we all need a bit of peace. It's been a chaotic and a very anxious time. Yeah. And of the increase of his government and peace there will be no end. Here's the bit to get right. He will reign on David's throne and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness from that time on and forever. The zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this. Isn't that beautiful?
It is beautiful.
He's the counselor, he'll be the mighty God, he'll be the Prince of Peace. I think this year more than ever we need a bit of that peace of God to come down, even and just be around us during Advent and Christmas, because it's been a horrible time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we do need that sense of peace just to come and be among us. And that's my sort of final thought. That's my undercarriage down, hitting the runway.
Brilliant. Amy Hayes is wondering, do we have the 4 lights up? And for Sligo folk, that's an important thing. The 4 lights is reopened. There's a sign of hope in the community, we're going to be honest.
Yes, the 4 lights.
Yes. I love a bit of chicken.
Aye, for those people that don't know, it's a local restaurant. That's all good stuff.
There we go. We are a Sligo institution, I think we would say.
I think you could call it that, yes, without fear of being...
We are going to be doing loads of things across all the social media sites in the journey to through Advent and on to Christmas. There will be daily Bible readings for December. Malcolm's going to be doing Christmas crackers, and we'll give you loads more information about that.
Yes.
On Sunday coming, on the Recenter Facebook page, we are starting a new service. You'd be so welcome to join us for that. 10:30, if you can find the Recenter Facebook or YouTube page, please like it, and please subscribe to it on YouTube. And if you haven't already subscribed to the Drumcliffe feeds, please do that. We would so love to see you journey through the next few weeks together as we kind of prepare and think and journey and just actually exercise a little bit of hope and hopefully a bit of peace in the midst of what's
bring a bit of peace to what's been a chaotic and an anxious, and I know for some people that are even watching us today, it's been a very sad year and a very difficult year for them. So
absolutely. So please, there's going to be loads of stuff out there. Sally joining the team has helped us so much with all the digital stuff. It's just so
she's been such a blessing to us, hasn't she?
Malcolm will be here on Sunday at 12 on the Drumcliffe page, and he will do your preaching.
I'm doing a bit of a preach.
He is.
I am indeed.
He's talking about Matthew.
Matthew, yeah, sheep and the goats. I'm going to try and go at it from a different angle, so we'll see how that works.
Sheep and the goats.
We'll see how that works.
The amount of people who are fantasizing about jumpers and onesies and...
I think I've dug a bit of a hole there for myself.
You're going to be watching. We'll get a photo of him watching the Late Late Toy Show in his onesie, and we are going to be back here.
Will it go viral?
Well, you could do.
Viral in the onesie.
You could catch a viral. That'd be worse. And And we're back next week here,
Yes.
8:30, across all the digital feeds, Drumcliffe, Recenter, YouTube, Facebook, Bookface, Twitterverse, I have no idea.
Can I just
all
say,
of those things.
Can I say something?
Yes.
It's wonderful to be back.
It is good to be back. I was absolutely
I was the same.
stressed.
Yes, that's a good word for it. Yes.
Stressed.
We'll keep it clean.
I
Yes,
was
he was
stressed.
No, it's good to be back. It's good to hear. It's good to get those comments and those
It's so lovely to be
all those
back
familiar
amongst this
names and
community.
faces. It's brilliant. It really is.
Absolutely, and it's great to see you all back. And we are so looking forward to spending the next, we've 4 more Thursday nights together between now and Christmas. We really want you to be with us and to come along and take part. And we love to hear from you. And when we do this and you're on Facebook and you're chatting to us, it just feels like we're one community for this little bit of time. So it's such a lovely, lovely thing. And it warms our hearts, I think.
It
as well.
does. It's a great encouragement. Thank you so much.
Malcolm, do you want to pray before we finish up?
I will just pray very quickly. Loving Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time when we can gather together to have a bit of fun and fellowship, and also to think about your word, and to just enjoy each other's company, and to enjoy this time together when we can feel such a sense of your spirit, be it here in Drumcliffe or wherever people are watching us from. And as we journey through this Advent season together towards Christmas, I just pray that each one of us would deepen our faith, deepen our spiritual journey, and that together we'll encounter that wonderful Counselor, that mighty God, that everlasting Father. And we'll all come closer to the Prince of Peace. And we know that one day he will reign on David's throne and over his kingdom forever. So we look forward to that day. We anticipate that day with joyful hearts. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Bless you and good night. And we hope to see you on some of the other things during the week.
Yes, please.
But also, and most importantly, back here next Thursday night for our next Thursday chats. Good night and God bless.
Night, night. God bless.